It was one of the coldest nights in Missoula, Montana, the kind where the wind cut through jackets and turned breath into white clouds. Emma Walker stood inside her small roadside diner, Walker's Grill, wiping down the counter and preparing to close early. Snow pounded against the windows, and only a few cars crawled down the icy highway. Just as she flipped the closed sign, headlights flashed through the storm. A military Humvee rolled into the parking lot, followed by two more. Emma paused, confused. Soldiers rarely stopped here at night, let alone in a blizzard. The door swung open, and 6 U.S. Army soldiers, exhausted and shivering, stepped inside. Their uniforms were soaked, faces red from the wind. One of them, Sergeant Miller, removed his gloves respectfully. "Ma'am, we're sorry to bother you this late. We were rerouted because of the storm. The men haven't eaten since morning. Is there any chance your kitchen is still open?" Emma looked at their faces, cold, tired, hungry. She thought of her father, a Vietnam vet, who always said, "Never let a soldier go hungry, no matter what." Without hesitation, she said, "Sit down, I'll cook." The men exhaled in relief as they took their seats. Emma hurried into the kitchen and fired up the grill. The smell of sizzling bacon filled the diner, followed by pancakes, coffee, and hot soup. She worked fast, hands flying, ignoring the clock and the storm outside. When she finally placed the plates on the tables, the soldiers stared at the food as if seeing a miracle. Steam rose from the bowls. The warmth spread through the entire diner. Sergeant Miller reached for his wallet. "Ma'am, thank you. Please tell us how much. The Army will reimburse everything." Emma shook her head firmly. "No charge, not tonight." The soldiers protested, but she raised her hand. "You're out there protecting this country. This meal is the least I can do." Their faces softened, some embarrassed, some touched. One young private whispered, "My mom would have done something like this." For the next hour, the diner was filled with laughter, thawing uniforms, steaming coffee cups, and relief. Emma packed extra sandwiches and thermoses of soup for them to take. As they prepared to leave, Sergeant Miller paused by the door. "You didn't have to do this, ma'am, but we'll never forget it." Emma smiled. "Just get home safe." The soldiers filed back into their Humvees and disappeared into the storm. Emma locked the diner, unaware that one of those soldiers had sent a message to his commanding officer, praising her, her kindness, and how she refused to accept a single dime. She had no idea that her simple act, feeding 6 freezing soldiers, would set off a chain of events she could never have imagined. Because the next morning, long before sunrise, Emma would wake to the sound of dozens of engines rumbling outside, and discover that the entire U.S. Army had shut down her street. Emma woke up before sunrise, expecting another quiet, freezing morning. But instead, she heard something strange, deep, powerful engine rumbles. Not one, not two, dozens. She hurried to the window. Her eyes widened. Her entire street in Missoula was lined with military vehicles, Humvees, transport trucks, even a mobile command unit. Soldiers in winter gear stood in formation. Orange cones blocked both ends of the road. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains, confused and whispering. "What on earth?" Emma mumbled as she quickly threw on her jacket and stepped outside. The moment she opened her door, a senior officer, Colonel Harding, stepped forward. He saluted her. "Ma'am, thank you for coming out. I'm Colonel James Harding, U.S. Army 4th Infantry. We're not here for any emergency. We're here because your kindness traveled up the chain of command." Emma blinked, completely lost. Then she saw them, the same 6 soldiers from last night, standing proudly in the front row, smiling at her. Sergeant Miller stepped forward. "Ma'am," he said, "you fed us when we were cold, exhausted, and off our route. You didn't take a penny. You reminded us what we're serving for." Colonel Harding nodded. When Sergeant Miller reported what happened, the message went all the way to my desk, and we decided people like you need to be recognized. Emma swallowed hard, emotional but unsure what to say. That's when she noticed something unbelievable. Two soldiers carried a large metal plaque, another held a sealed envelope, a fourth carried a folded American flag. Colonel Harding continued, "This street is shut down temporarily so the entire unit can honor you without interruption." Emma stepped back, overwhelmed. "Please, you didn't have to do all this." "But we wanted to," Harding said gently. "Your diner took care of our people. Today we take care of you." The soldiers approached the porch. First, Sergeant Miller handed her the folded American flag, the same ceremonial style used for heroes and retirees. "This is presented on behalf of every soldier you warmed last night," he said. Next, a soldier opened the envelope and revealed a certificate of appreciation, signed by the commanding officer of the base. Then the plaque was revealed. "To Emma Walker, for exemplary service, compassion, and support. To the United States Army." Emma covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. But the surprises weren't over. Colonel Harding pointed behind him. "We also stocked your diner for the next month. Supplies, ingredients, new equipment, fully covered by the U.S. Army." Emma gasped. A truck opened its back doors, revealing crates of fresh ingredients, boxes of coffee, new kitchen tools, and even a brand new grill. The neighbors cheered from their porches, some even clapped with tears in their eyes. Emma shook her head in disbelief. "I just made them dinner," she whispered. "And sometimes," Harding replied, "a simple act of kindness can move an entire army." The soldiers saluted her simultaneously, a wall of respect and gratitude. Emma stood on her porch, holding the flag close to her chest, realizing her small diner, her small act, had touched hundreds of lives. That morning, as the sun rose over the snowy Montana street, Emma Walker became a quiet American hero.